Hello, my name's Eilidh and I'm an illustrator. It's my job to tell stories in pictures rather than words. I do like reading, but I've always preferred the pictures to the words, so I'm kind of doing the ideal job. Recently I illustrated this book here, which is Fierce, Fearless and Free by the brilliant Larry Dawn. And it's a collection of folk tales from all around the world about brave girls. It was an absolute delight to illustrate. My job was to come up with one image for each story, so it was a little bit like making a book cover for each story rather than illustrating the whole thing. It's quite a challenge to work that way because you have to think about how to sum up the whole story in just one illustration. So what I did was I thought about the characters as Larry had written them, but I also thought about how I imagined each character and about how the story made me feel. So I thought about the things that I could include from the story that would communicate that atmosphere. I'll show you an example. This one here is an Ecuadorian folktale called Maria and the Condor. And it's kind of quite a wild story. There's a lot of danger and peril. At one point it's almost as though the main character is going to drown. So I wanted to communicate that feeling of panic, and so I've included these trees blowing in the wind and these wild swirling waves and a really twisty thread, which is kind of her lifeline. In contrast, this one is Medea and the Metal Man. So I wanted to show, in this is a Greek myth, and I wanted to show how Medea is defiant at this point. She's just defeated a giant. So I'm showing her strong and confident. She's got her hands on her hips and she's looking pretty pleased with herself. She's also in the centre of the image. So your job today is to come up with your own fierce, fearless and free character and to illustrate it. So Bloomsbury have come up with an activity pack, and included is a page with a frame that's empty at the moment that you're to fill with your own character. So you could think about illustrating one of the characters from the story. There's lots to be inspired by, or you could come up with your own character. Maybe you're the fierce one and it's going to be a self-portrait. But whatever you decide, try and think about how the character, what the character's thinking and how they're feeling. You can communicate that in their facial expression, so they could be really surprised, wide open eyes with their eyebrows halfway up their head, or maybe they're looking very confident like Medea, so her eyes might be slightly closed, perhaps one eyebrow is raised. I can't really do that. You could also show it in the way that they're standing, so hands on hips for confidence, perhaps arms folded. There's lots of options, and you can even include lots of other elements to set the scene around them. Whatever you decide to do, just remember to have fun with it and try not to stop drawing even if you think it's not turning out very well. I sometimes find that the drawings I think are most rubbish end up being the most interesting ones, or show me what I did wrong, and the next drawing will be something I'll be more happy with. But enjoy yourselves. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and if you haven't read the book already, do. It's brilliant. My favourite story is Naringa and the Sea Dragon. Okay, enjoy!